One of the most annoying parts about making outs in games is that you have to spend ages leveling them, gearing them, only to end up doing the same boring chores as you already did on your main just to farm resources so that you can progress in the game. What if I told you there was a way to farm kinah, gold items, enchantment stones on your outs without them being geared or even max level so that you have a smoother progression on your main? Curious to learn how? Stick around to find out more. Good day. Today, I want to show you something really cool which I found out by accident, but a lot of you probably already know. So this video is aimed at that small minority that still hasn't really figured out the best ways to grind or to get the most out of their outs. As you know, part of the end game in Aion 2 is getting your items with the correct stats, whether it's your PvP gear or a PvE item. Doesn't really matter. You're aiming at getting the item with the correct stats. Now, the game does allow you to reroll a stat you are not happy with through the soul binding system. And the way it works is you can use any gold item, whether it's a weapon, accessory, armor piece, doesn't matter. You can use that item to reroll any of the stats of your gear randomly, right? So, for example, on my Vakron breastplate, I have natural mana regen. I've put on a gold weapon, and when we click sync, it will reroll the item. And we got this. Now, as anything in this game, it's RNG, so fingers crossed, whenever you roll those, you get the item, the stat you need. However, okay, the question is, how do you get your gold items? You can get them from, obviously, your dailies, as rewards from the Abyss, or grinding them from mobs in open world, dungeons, Shugo mini games, all sorts of ways, right? But most of them require heavy RNG and spending lots of time grinding mobs without getting anything in return. So what we found out with some friends while leveling some outs is that there is a dungeon that has a significantly higher rates of dropping golds, and it uses only a fraction of the energy that other dungeons use, okay? By farming that dungeon, you're not only getting more golds, but also some kinah and enchantment stones, which you can use to enchant the gear of your main character, or even craft amplification stones and trade that to your main character and use it to further progress your main character. Now, the dungeon in question is Fire Temple, the expedition version, the exploration, right? If you notice, it doesn't require any entry tickets. It only uses 30 Odao energy, right? Vakron, for example, in exploration uses an entry ticket plus energy, as well as Ferocious Horn Den, Uruguru Canyon, and Crow Cave. They don't use a ticket, but the rewards in there are kind of shit. And if you look at the drop table for Crew Meat, you have 20% base chance to obtain a gold, right? And then if you kill the side bosses, the mini bosses, right, you get an extra 10% chance. So that totals to around 40% chance to get a gold item. Now, if you go to any of the other dungeons, right, it is 1.5%. And if you look at the drop rates from the Conquest version of these dungeons, they're around 5% lower, right? So if you go to, let's say, Drapnir, let's check the drop table. For golds, it's 15%, and Vakron, again, 15%, right? It's actually 10%, so it's even lower. What makes this dungeon so effective is that the character you need doesn't have to be geared, and it doesn't even have to be max level. But obviously, being a 45 level character with some gear would significantly speed the way you farm this dungeon. Now, after I leveled up my Templar to 45, I did some test runs, and as you can see, I got quite a bit of gold items in the span of like a few days, and that's like 5-6 runs each day, trying to deplete my energy. Now, let's have a little preview of what my farming experience was like.
Pew pew.
Double gold with the bow!
No gold.
2 golds! Staff and a dagger. 2 golds. Finally, bro.
Third run, nothing. Dang.
Another dagger. Bro, I should just roll to assassin. I got a gold. Another bow. Gold boat. Another gold. Thank you for watching. If you found this video useful, please give it a like and subscribe. It does help my channel grow. Also, I am streaming Aion 2 daily on Twitch, so don't be shy. Come and say hi. Anyway, as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.